do this.
Okay.
There they are.
Okay, hey guys. Hello, hello.
There they are. Wait for people to get in here. It's gonna be a long YouTube. So you might as well get your coffee, get your water.
I got mine. I got my coffee. You know me. I always have my coffee. There's water in it.
Right? It's gonna be a long one. There's Dawn. Dawn's in the house. Buck's in the house. Sanders in the house. Sherry's in the house. Kim is in the house.
Everybody's here.
Nancy.
Hey guys.
Florida. Righty. Several good subjects tonight. Verification on some stuff. And some stuff I didn't expect us to literally see.
The seer got caught.
Huh? Yeah, it's funny, right?
The seer didn't know what she was seeing for a second.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's gonna be a mess.
Wait a minute.
There's no way. Sandra.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think I want to go into now you put the recording, the past recording on the black debris. They talked about the debris, and I think you put it in what you do. You release that.
It's in the groups of Signal and Telegram. I can put it in the description when we're done, the video description, so people can click on it later.
Okay. Can look at that later. So as our world is starting to break down, the whole energy process, and I wear glasses. So when I look at something, I can see it in front of me with no glasses on and with glasses on. That tells me it's right there in that realm of things. So I had to kind of draw it. I did the drawing, and then Chat added some details to it so I can explain what this looks like so you guys understand what it has to do with. And then I'll go over some information on it. So it's a debris in front of your eyes that you're... did you get the other picture?
Yes, I can't do a side by side, but
there's the other one. That's a describe of way Chat sees it, of the debris in front of you, and that's the view I'm starting to see the breakdown. And I talked about these black particles that you're going to see. So this is the one Chat did, and the other picture is the one that I drew.
This is your original, right?
Yeah. So that's the looking at it in a different way, but and it's light. I mean, it's a see-through. It's a jellyfish-looking debris that I was seeing this afternoon, putting my glasses on, off, on, and like it's right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to go over that on the process of seeing it. Okay, let's start with that. So, and this is the thing, if you guys have seen, if you've had, I'm going to remove that one. If you've had any type of debris in front of you, you're like, I don't understand what this is. It's not your eyes messing with you either. And that was the thing I had to look at, that where it was coming from,
Mm-hmm.
what was going on with it, all of that. So let's go into, just switching back. Okay, I'm going to read this. I'm going to go over this. So, and I talked about this from the past and the energetic debris leaving the field. The black dust is often an old, stagnant, foreign energy that is breaking, loosing, and leaving your aura. Because when you're waking up, things are changing. You are seeing this because your sight is turning. It's releasing certain modes of your field and purging the energy. No longer matches the frequency that you're in or you're presenting. So Spirit says when the light increases and, as it's lifted, it seems to be exiting these particles. They're not coming out of you or anything that's around you. It can't sustain it. So then the dust particles may not just be personal with your current compressing and upgrading and witnessing collective shadows, stirring, releasing. So the seers, the sensitive, the key holders, spiritual atmosphere, especially when humanity is clearing the density patterns. And that's the thing, it's very light. It is like dust, but it's different. Because and now that I've seen it, now I can't unsee it. Now I keep seeing it. It's like, so now I'm going to lay in bed at night going, because it's moving. It keeps moving. So, and anybody, you got to look at it in a very kind of set your focus back, and you're looking through your eyes and you're looking at every detail. And that's the thing. I wasn't trying to even see it. And I'm like, this is not, and it was black. It showed me these particles of showing up. So these black specks of dust or something from a vision, you are being shown the energetic realm do not have permission to pass through you as it once did. As you move into higher frequencies, you may also want to be seeing the residue of old contracts throughout the attachment of the breakdown. So, all that process of what doesn't reside in you no more, and now your vision is seeing it break down in front of you. So this tells me, I'm wondering, okay, if you're seeing that now, what are we going to see in a week?
I wonder.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to be interesting, how things change, don't you think?
Absolutely. We've even got some folks in the chat who are mentioning that they're already seeing it too.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys can comment at the people, because and I had to look at it, glasses on, glasses off. Wax on, wax off. I had to look at it and like, hey, it's not going away. It keeps showing me over and over. So I wonder what they're getting, what type of debris they're getting that's showing up.
Let's see. Forever's asking, should we look in low light or bright light? Does it matter?
I don't think it does. I really don't think, because it's almost like a different lens. Feels like you're seeing a different lens in a different, and you're paying attention to the small detail stuff. That's the whole thing about it.
Okay. Baja Girl's saying that she thought that the black dots are on her eyes, except they're around 3 inches from her eyes, and they do move. So that's what she's saying.
Yes. So confirm you are not infected or attacked. Spirit is clear. This is not an attack. It's a invasion or it is a sign of purification that is sweeping, like sweeping out the attic. We're getting the dust out. We're getting everything. See the dust floating before it is gone. You're just seeing the debris of it. So don't interact. Try to analyze it. It's the particles. Let them move through and out. You can imagine the wind, light, waterfall moving through your field. Carry all the dust and the residue back to source. If it feels, residues command that all that is not mine, not of the light, you are released now and return to source, transmitting to stand in the light and clear the whole vessel of light. So what this is you are upgrading. You are a site of sharpening your vision, and more you will see in particles of leaving, clearing the channel, because once you release and you're complete, you may notice the inner vision becomes brighter. And this is the thing, this is crisp and more colorful, because I said that the 5D people, the awakened people, as your vision changes, how you see things different, you're going to be able to see things that they cannot see. This is a starting phase of that. But I mean, that's why you want to draw it or write it down, because it's moving. It's not just staying. You're seeing it move. You're seeing it slide off, but it literally looks like it's under a microscope lens, and you're seeing it move through this process. So I'm wondering if anybody else has seen it.
A few other people are saying they're starting to see them, but more just from the peripheral vision, not straight ahead. So we got those two.
And I wasn't, and I wasn't even feeling an energy at all that changed. It's right there. It's this close. That's the whole thing that changes with this process. And that's why I had to just draw it right away, and just so it can, look at that process of how it works.
Some folks are saying it seems like it's dust on their eyes, but not really. That's what they're seeing.
Yeah. Well, a person wearing glasses and a person not. And I think that's the thing, we want to put it in the 3D. But when you're looking at it in different views and you're getting it, and this is the thing, with something like this, it's not going to look the same. It's going to change. That's what I'm interested in, how this will change in that process. So I definitely say with my students, they want to be paying attention more clearly of because they're going through major upgrades and transformation anyway with this whole process. But like we talked about it before, this debris will come through, and then that resides with the colors changing. So I always thought that, the colors here were dull compared to what I saw on that side and how things are. So it's just interesting how we get to verify this information. That's what I want. I want the verification of it.
So we have a question of, if you're not seeing the black particles, but you're starting to have blurry vision. That's
a start of it. Because there's this mirror effect that you're seeing. It's like a mirror effect, and it's like this, right? And you're like, no, that's not real. Yeah. But then when you settle the mind and you're not in a fear process, then you're like, okay, let me tune into this in a different way. And then it steadies the mind. But also you have to get it into the acceptance stage of it as it appears. And that's the whole thing of it's a vision you get, how here we use Jesus as a vision. Some people see Jesus as this white guy. Some people see him as the holy temple. You know what I'm saying? It has to do with your veil of understanding, what you're able to perceive and not be in fear in that process too. So, and for this to happen at this time, right now, and we're in solar flares, and we're all sweaty, tired, exhausted. Oh, let's get into that later.
Could be on that all night.
Yeah. So I'll take some questions and we'll go on some other subjects if they want to ask.
So someone's asking, like, what exactly is it that they're seeing? Is this this is like a shedding of? Okay.
It's a shedding. That's the whole thing of it is a energy, energetic debris leaving your field. Black dust is often the sign of old, stagnant, foreign energy that is breaking and loosening your aura or mind. You are seeing that it's breaking down in the sight. It's releasing mode. So your field is purging the energy that is no longer matching your frequency that is changing. Because we are ascending, we are moving towards the collective of the light. So when the light increases, that's all. It's not that the light will just lift. It seems as it is existence, and the particles are not coming with you. So it's the streak marks.
There you go.
Of you leaving. So then it says the black specks or dust are sometimes a form of a gatekeeper's vision. And you are being shown that the energy that you have permission to pass through as you move into higher frequencies, and may also be seeing residue, old contracts, their forms, attachments that is breaking down because it no longer serves you and you no longer in fear of it. And that's why it's telling you, don't interact with it. You're just looking at it from a particle stand, moving through and out. The images, it works in wind, light, moving waterfall fields, carries the dust and the residue back to source and asking for it to go back to source. So that's the whole process of, you're just alert and aware of it. You are upgrading your sight. The more you see the particles leaving, the clearer you're going to channel. Become once released. You may notice your inner vision becomes brighter, crisp, and more colorful. So seeing the black dust in your mind's eye is a spirit's way of letting you witness the final clearing, purification, possible of the collective. That means your field is getting lighter. So you stay in gratitude and finish the clearing process.
Okay, thank you.
There's no fear in the process.
So it's almost like as we're, some of us are shedding those other 3D people that we're around.
Yeah.
Or we're energetically shedding those things that we don't need either. And that's what this is.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
That's the whole thing is we're shedding it. And we are gladly shedding it.
So a question is, should folks be worried because they haven't seen this debris yet?
No. I mean, it's just part of your process here. I mean, if you're wakening yourself up and you're seeing it's eventually going to come. There's always a first part of the first people that are going to see it in front of you, and it's just going to start. Someone's got to be first, there's always someone that's got to see stuff first and move towards that direction. So don't be afraid of it in that way if you're not seeing it either. Okay, let's go into the spiritual realm energy update. So, for all experiences blocking spiritual doors and locked realms, like today, was trying to feel like usually it's a flow of getting through something. It feels like it just wants to sit there. And I'm like, oh gosh. And then we looked up what was going on today. Of course, there's something going on. So Blocked doors, and that was the thing that's going on right now, is spiritual realms experience energetic pressurizing veils between the worlds. There's thicker, it thickens as it's not as a punishment, it's a recalibration, a cleansing. This is happening globally, not just you. Guardian councils, watchers are holding the space in all the gateways. We are now reviewing the intense vibration signature of all seek to cross into the higher light. Only those who are truly aligned with the energy, home, creator, are allowed easy passage. So this is that whole process. I say how what we accept, and as we discard the 3D and we're not allowing us to be in fear, we start to slowly send our vision and start to look at things in a different way. And that's the whole thing about this, is you're holding your perception is accepting it in the way that your mind is saying, I want to see it all. Right. I'm okay to see it all, instead of just what was programmed in me to see. That's the whole thing. It's an experience. If your old method, keys, codes are not working, this is because they are replacing the high frequency version. This is not a failure. You are being shifted into a new agreement with spirit, which to me looks at me and go, oops. There goes in. I just saw that. It went down. Okay. It's back.
Good.
Hold on.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good. It's just when I see it dip, I'm going to pause. Okay, so we're dense earth energy. So all this, what's going on for the next 3 days it's supposed to be, right?
I believe so, yes. Usually 3 days.
Yeah. The collective energy on earth is heightened, fatigue, confusion, fear, more difficult, even more experience, of seeing through things and receiving clear downloads will pass. It feels like we're swimming, trying to get to it, and now eventually it'll calm to a point that you can see it in a different view. When you feel locked out, consider that you may be locked out and kept in the safe and the heart of Creator. While you're inner clearing, you're sensitive to value that you are protected. So just imagine it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's just being protected. Because there's a lot going on. We are in a spiritual war right now. It is the negative against the light. And don't forget to reset and allow to upgrade to complete. On this. Anchor yourself. Your true original frequency is the key. Return to your heart. Remember who you are. Ask for the delay of protection. I am waiting for a new process. Listen to the answers in your soul. Honor rest. It's normal to feel tired, foggy. Allow yourself for extra care. Integrate time. Watch for the shift. You know the doors are open when you feel lighter. Receive direct call from spirit. So we're in that upgrade process. I wonder if it's going to feel like, I'm going to go back to the 60s when they first discovered all those major drugs, and they're like, hey, what's going on? We're not taking anything. Right. Just saying. So, by the highest light of authority of Creator's light, I align myself to update my soul, divine protection. I am truly timing is opening and closing. When the next door is ready, I walk forward in the truth. I reside with the frequency of home. I am safe. I am ready. I honor recalibration in the heart, Creator, so it is. So the whole thing is, sovereignty beings are going back to that, feeling that, being in that whole process of that, where we're at. So I can take some more questions.
Okay, let's see. Well, a couple of things. It's not just questions, but people dealing with a lot of the body issues. We've got several people complaining about charley horses. So, yeah.
Oh my God. Let's go right into that.
I thought you'd be interested in that one.
Last night, I'm laying in my bed.
Yeah.
The right foot and the toe goes, you know how it goes, king. And you're like, ah. And I'm like, oh no. And it's just for a while. And then I'm like, heating pad, of course, because we did this last year. We're like, heating pad, wrapping it around. And all of a sudden it moves right up to my leg. I'm like, oh no. So then that starts. Fine. It was fine. Left leg starts. Left toe starts. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no sense of going to sleep tonight. We're going to get attacked. Your body's not receiving this energy the way it wants to. Yeah. All those twitches and that is like the worst though, when you can't do anything about it.
Right.
It hurts.
Well, at least we all know we're not alone. There are a whole bunch of us going through it, right?
Yeah.
So here's another question. Is everyone going to upgrade or will some downgrade?
NPCs are not going, guys. Non-player characters. And it's hard for, this is where the military is going to have to really explain that in a detailed situation when they actually want to start to talk about it, how long they've been here. And that's the whole thing. They're giving you details of how they function, how they can't think on their own. You can't get them to inspire. You can't get them to dream. They keep repeating the same process. Nothing's exciting. Nothing is of the spirit. And that's the thing. And as we grow, you're going to sense that more because there's just this program there. There's no connection. So it's coming to the surface.
Okay. Thank you. So get more folks talking about the.
Yeah, don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. It's going to come. Yeah, you don't have to worry if you haven't seen it because it's going to come.
And that's just like everything else. Everyone's ascending at their own level, right? So it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Well, and that too, and this is, I think, people recognize people that you're around and now you talk about this with, and then they're all of a sudden having symptoms and they're coughing and they're feeling they're not sleeping, and you're like, oh, they're waking up. Even your energy is waking up in that way of going through a process that their soul doesn't remember, but it's going back to memory now for them. Just being around you, as I always say, that people are the podium of the light.
I was just going to say that.
And it's creating a collective.
Denise says she saw rays of light coming in this morning while her eyes were closed. Interesting.
That's what I'm saying. My eyes are closed and open seeing this, and my glasses are on and off. And I did a meditation this morning. I was doing healing, and all of a sudden I'm seeing her eye, with the healing process, but I'm also seeing debris come out of my eye. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Well, at least now you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's always helpful.
Exactly. It was just a trip to see, what's going on. So, that's the whole thing is there's nothing negative about this. This is the thing where we're at right now. It's nothing to fear. We're our spirit's just going through something it's always been able to do. There's nothing blocking it anymore. You don't have the matrix system to do that anymore. Everything is changing now. So you get to witness your own process on your own. And that's the whole thing. Everything that is true is going to surface to the top. It's just all going to be there. The truth is going to be right out there, and you're going to see it for what it is. That's what's happening. Just like the negative right now, it's all surfacing. You don't have to really do anything. You're just going to watch it fall.
Right.
That's all that matters.
And of course, don't be in fear of anything. Right?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Christina's
Nope.
saying.
I mean, this is all.
Go ahead.
This is all that, it's your, the Yeshua, whether it's Yeshua, Jesus, Creator, all of it. It was all residing within us. The true temple was within inside us. True communication was always within us. So now the potential of using that in the proper way is set forth the path.
Right.
So it's getting interesting.
Folks are making some good suggestions for supplements in regards to like charley horses and things like that.
I have tried it, darlings. I've used. I'm telling you, see my cabinets.
You think it's because it's more of a
It's there.
spiritual thing? It's not the typical things aren't going to fix it. Okay.
Right. I think it's magnesium and bananas and like. I think it was last summer. I mean, they were having that issue all the time. It was nonstop. It was like, I don't want to go to bed because you feel like you're gonna feel it every time. And now it's been a while, but we're back to that whole situation again. But yeah, I mean, it's not, this is an exciting time that we're going through because when everything is surfaced, like I said, when everything comes to the top of the surface on everything, we're just going to be observing, expecting. We're not going to be in shock anymore because you're just waiting for the truth to come to the surface. That's the whole thing. So we can take some questions they want to ask about anything, and then we'll go into.
Well, Christina's mentioning that she's been feeling the electrified, like energy could come out of her fingertips. I did that just that when we were waiting to get online.
Before you call,
I got this electrical shock.
You guys can keep that. I don't want that.
Giant electrical shock. That was uncomfortable, but hey. See, another question.
Yeah.
Again, what do you think the percentage of the NPCs are? Do you think there's more than we thought before?
Gosh, you guys, I think there's a lot. I do. Unfortunately, I think a lot of them are Democrats. Sorry. Just saying. Okay. Because they don't function. I mean, they get so irate about everything, and then you got the COVID side of things that it dismantles you in that way, and then you got this other side of it. You're just like seeing it more and more. I mean, it's like they're going bipolar.
Seems like it.
You don't even know what they're going to say, or going to get pissed off, or they're going to do something. I'm just saying they're not in control of their own emotion. And to me, that's someone else's. It's an NPC process.
Well, I know you said this before, but we can repeat it if you'd like. Will the end not be for everyone?
Right. It will not. And Trump has said that. Shepard has said that. It's not, which is, here we go, the classification of the NPCs again. And then we already know how they're going to be dismantled, because it is literally about cutting that cord. And once they cut out that cord, and you can see the clear vision of humans with spirits that, they're compassionate and have sympathy, I really judge that a lot with when I see people react to animals or don't. That really is a big verification of that, because animals are so innocent, and they just want love, and to be accepted in that love. And it's hard for me to see someone just reject that in a way of, wow, it's, to not see that. It's crazy.
Right.
So
Okay.
we can go into some other.
Don't exactly know how many families that like have NPCs. I think a lot. What do you think? And
Oh, I got
I know
some.
I do too.
Let's use that one person is just like, wow. And it's that person that's so heavy when you're around them, and the weight of being around them, and it's hard to breathe in the room, and it's just negative. It's always someone else's fault consistently. It's just It's hard. And I noticed another thing, they just don't shut up either. They go on and on. They never can shut up. Sorry, I'm just saying that.
Well, they usually have to try to be in control of a situation, right?
Yeah. Well, when you learn, like I said, with spirit, you learn a lot sitting in the stillness, sitting in quietness, sitting in peace, sitting in nature. If you have the patience to do that and listen and be guided by, a stronger, positive light. But yeah, the stillness is so very important. And then know when to shut down too, and just completely. So, let me ask one more question. We can do one. We can start with one reading.
Sounds good.
In between all.
Let's see. Do you think people can just be brainwashed but not NPCs? Can someone else other than an NPC be brainwashed?
No, I think the program is set before. I think the program's already set in them with an NPC. I don't think they get brainwashed. I think it's already set how it's going to lay out. So I believe clones are part of that, brainwash process. But NPCs, I think the program already resides in them, because there's a dead stare that you can tell they're not taking in information. They're not residing in ideas or dreaming, in that way. They're in their own illusion of that.
Okay. Thank you. You ready for a reading? Okay.
Yes.
All right, folks. Jenny's going to do a few readings tonight. We're going to pepper them in here and there. If you're interested in getting a free mini reading, this is public, online, here, live. You have to be here in the live chat. Just type the word reading in the chat. Remember, it's public. So when you call in, if you're chosen, Spirit tells Jenny who to pick when she gets through the list. And when she chooses, we'll put the number in for you. And again, this is a public reading. So just type the word reading and someone will get picked. Let's see.
Let's look at this. Michelle Levi.
Okay. Okay, Michelle, I'm putting Jenny's phone number in the chat for you. Give a call. I don't know where you're from. Jenny's in the States, so. And we're going to try to do a couple more of these tonight, so don't worry. Other folks might get another chance here.
Let's see what these solar flares do, right? 3 more days of this. Solar flares. No,
it's okay. I guess while we're rating, I will put your website in. I don't know if you want to mention that new.
Well, I mean, I'm going to give her 1 more minute, and if she doesn't call, I'll move on to another person. I'm not seeing that. I think NPCs have been circulating, gosh, I would say since the 1950s.
Okay.
We started it. I think it's been a while.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay.
It says, thank you so much, Jenny, and everyone. Never picked. Well, you are picked, dear, so give Jenny a call right now, Michelle.
Yeah.
If you need the number again.
You're going to have to call me.
Let's see. There you go. There's Jenny's number again.
So let me take some questions while
let's see.
We're waiting.
What do you see for the upcoming holidays?
I think the energy is going to be different from what we've had before. I don't know how Christmas is going to set in with that energy, and I haven't since we know that date is off on that whole process. Because we all know that these are days that the merchandise, they make big money off these days. I mean, I think Halloween's going to be different. I think the energy is going to change because that day was always kind of a bad day what they did. So hopefully that energy shifts into a different process. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Still no. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
We might have to move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because it's. And then she calls in.
Okay, Michelle, we're gonna have to move on. If you call in, we'll get you on the next one, I guess. Okay, folks, we're gonna go round 2 with the reading. If you're interested, type the word reading in the chat. And again, you'd have to call in live for your mini reading.
Okay, if she calls in, that's fine, but okay. Let me go into, there was another one that I saw that I wanted. Spirit was going over. Oh, she's in Costa Rica. I can't call you. I don't have access.
Okay. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to have to email me. I don't want to do this way. Okay, so I want to do Libby of the Light.
Okay, here you go, Libby. Jenny's number up for you. Give her a call.
Was it solar flares? I'm just saying. It's. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to let her in my bedroom. Sure. Bye, honey. You too. Hello? Hold on, let me turn this on. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for calling my name.
Awesome. So what would you like to go into and what information are you seeking?
Everything. Medbeds or a message from a family member that's passed over would be nice.
Okay.
I'm 71. I've been a single mom for 40 years. I live alone for 10 years. So I have a lot. I have a lot of things wrong. As far as you could pick any topic and give me information.
Okay, so I want to go into the physical body. So the first thing I'm getting is tiredness, and fatigue is overwhelming, and I just feel like the sleep is not happening hardly. How you're laying, even on your bed, how it just feels like nothing's comfortable. They're showing me.
I bought a new bed, and it's very painful. $2,000 therapeutic. I got one of those sheets that you lay on from Australia, $200. I can't tell the difference. It's like my left leg is nearly paralyzed from pain, so I have trouble in my spine.
Yeah, I can
bend over when I walk.
So this
Sandy said try magnesium glycinate.
Yeah. So
I will do that.
So it feels like the bones and the muscle, and this is like there's no strength and the stamina is not there, and it just feels, depleted is what I'm getting. Yeah. And the muscle they're showing me is a big process of what's going on everything with you. Are you having vision issues too?
Very much, yes.
Yeah, so they're showing that too, a lot, and just feels like the vision's almost playing tricks on you of what you're seeing, what you're picking up too.
Yeah.
So and so I'm saying that they don't want you to fall. I just feel like, there's other things that you can do, but the muscle, the whole balance of your body is having issues. And then it just feels like you don't have any relief.
Correct. Zero. I have a lot. I don't eat because of the poisons that they put in our food. So I eat a ton of supplements, but that's not replacing food. I don't have enough strength to stand at the kitchen sink or this kitchen stove and prepare even pasta.
Right.
I can't stand there. I have a stool. I can't sit there. I must lay down almost all the time.
Right.
This has been going on for 1 year, May of last year, 2024. So it's over a year.
Yeah. So I think they're, it just feels like the cells are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's the whole thing that, it needs to be rejuvenated. And that's what I'm seeing. So, I mean, you can contact me through an email. I can give you some natural supplements to take that I think, but I just feel this such exhaustion, tiredness. That's just, and I think you're just tired of being tired.
Correct. I'm beat up pretty
Yes.
much. I can call you about that.
Just
I'm waiting for the Medbeds, thinking, will that do it?
Oh, yeah, of course it will. And I know that they're putting a lot of information on there right now, and that Trump has announced some stuff, and they're trying to debunk it. But, they can't stop this whole process. You want to pay attention to everything that's going on with the Medbeds. But
I am. I feel like I am.
And and I think your body needs a detox too. It needs to go through a detox process, because I feel like on a fresh start, and looking at sea moss is another thing, because it has the 94 different minerals in it too.
Sea moss.
Sea moss. You can get it off. You can send me an email and I can give you some of that information, but you can get it off of Amazon too.
I'd rather buy it from you. I don't like Amazon.
Yeah. Well, I can give you the actual link that I trust to get.
Okay.
So,
I'm ready.
So other, I just feel, and then using Hertz frequencies, if you can use Hertz frequencies to help you rest, because I don't feel like your mind is going down at all. It's just you're in an alert process through your whole body. It's almost in hypertension mode all the time. And then
I get a lot of visits from extraterrestrials.
Mm-hmm.
They come here,
Mm-hmm.
and angels.
Mm-hmm.
I get people who want to cross over, and I help them. I've always got one eye open because my cat passed away, so I got to look out for myself by myself. I've lost that backup.
Yeah, I know animals are special.
Yeah.
So if you give me a call, you got this number, give me a call tomorrow and I'll set something up for you.
Okay. Call you or text you at Jenny's.
Well, text me first and then I'll set up a time to call you. Okay?
Okay. That'll be perfect.
Okay. Thank you, hon.
Thanks a million. I'm grateful. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
We're all tired. We're all fatigued.
Yeah. Feeling it.
Yeah. Okay, we can go to some more questions and then we'll blend that in.
I know you've mentioned this before, but do you see the EBS happening anytime very soon? Especially with that interesting stuff of.
So let's go back to what this whole process is a military operation. And so you had a lot of the Q and the white hats and stuff like that presenting information. Real Raw News was presenting real information. And now you're at a process that I said that the military branches would step up to the podium, and now they're grouping together to set forth the last final stage of this operation. So when they come to the limelight, there's a reason for this. And when they are talking, everybody's going to be listening to every word they say.
Mm-hmm.
The media is not going to be able to put propaganda out there. This is, the last straw of this information. So the biggest process of us going into Jubilee and the whole process of us getting our funds is this process has to happen. Now, the thing about that is I expected the Jubilee to be first and then the IRS, but I feel like the IRS and then the Jubilee on this process. So like they said, once everything goes down and as it switches back on, then those old programs will not be there. And then as they have the copy of the ditto accounts, and this is the thing, guys, I don't say this lightly. I've been doing this for a long time, and I verify. and I don't change the path. I've seen it 3 years ago, and it's staying consistent on that path of what needs to happen. And I'm telling you, if there's ever anything you need to watch, it's what's going on in Virginia right now. Who's going to be there? What countries are flying in? Because this is the collective of nations together. And that's what you need to be paying attention to. They're not there for small talk. They're there to flip this bitch across the board. So it's soon.
Very good. Thank you.
So it's good.
No, it is good. Yes, and you're saying the Quantico generals and admirals are next week. I guess they're all meeting next week. Okay.
And that's the whole thing. Each part of the service carries a certain level of authority, and all those have to come together, and they work as a process together. So, and these are in stages and checklists that need to be done. And now when they're hitting center stage and they're showing their face, that is when you want to listen. Everything else will slide to the side.
And I'm sure that'll be everywhere to see. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to be. And that's the news. That's what's going to be interesting about that, is because it's going to be broadcasted everywhere, across each channel, on everything. I mean, you see Trump up there and all that stuff, but this is different. This is a whole different Pentagon process, JAG, whole process of this, how they're going to come together in this. And then this is the thing. This is what I said. This is where you need to be calm in this process, because that makes it better in the situation as we get through it, instead of being in the chaos of everything. The calmness, it's a storm, but let's make it a calm storm if you can. Because you're already going to see the back end of this where people are going to freak out. And we know that. But, there's always someone that's got to have their head clear on what's going on. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big things too. You've got all those people, they're going to be the ones that flip out, but then they're going to be the ones like us who have been sitting here and waiting, and we're going to have to be the ones that help those who are flipping out.
Okay, so let's go to another
question. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Big Pharma has to go down before the Medbeds can be released?
Nope.
Okay.
And that's because they can't do anything to stop them anymore. At all, across the board. And that's the thing that you're seeing the change in, is, they're busy with trying to save their ass, and they can't anymore. I mean, the lawsuits that are coming out of this whole process, so there's nothing they can do with these hospitals or clinics that they're bringing in. So, they're going to be guarded well anyway. So, no, I think we're at a different process on this. I'm melting right now.
A little bit. Not to mention, I still get a lot of electrical charges flipping around right now.
Oh.
Okay. This is another Medbed question. Apparently, Trump posted on his Truth Social, I guess, page about it. Folks were saying it was AI, and then it was taken down.
Yes.
Do we know why that happened?
So,
okay.
Yeah. Because sometimes he puts stuff out there, he jumps the gun, and then he gets pulled. But we all know that it's happening. And that's the strategy out there, confusing the public. But I'm sure you're going to see more of it. So get ready to see more of the verification of what I'd be looking at is when they showed that hospital of that clinic of, I'm sure someone's going to analyze where it's at and everything like that. So, so that's part of the strategy. That's part of the show. So we'll see what they show in this week, if there's more verification that's coming. Because, what you're noticing is a lot of the left wing, they watch everything and all the programs. It doesn't matter what Joe Biden says. But when you bring something that's enlightened and helps the public, they're just like, it's fake. They go into that. It's the programming, So I believe it's true because it's not just that post. It's just what I've been hearing in the background.
Okay.
So it has to be posted at some point and it has to be shown. So we'll see how this rolls out. And like I said, it is not a civilian that's running this process. It's the complete military across the board that has clearance.
Okay, thank you.
So
let's see. Here's a basic one, an NPC of, can they be evil? The NPCs.
Who? Yeah.
But they're not all evil. Some of them are just...
No, they're not all, but they can be. Yeah. I would be interested in how, and it just came to my mind the other day of one being intoxicated, how that would dysfunction. I'd have to know 100% that the person is that way to want to, how I am. I want to get close to something, observe it, and see what the reaction is, what's really going on with the person. So, yeah. So, yeah, that would be interesting.
Thank you. Let's see. Folks are asking about, might be the digital ID. Will they use DNA and frequency for an ID? That's not digital ID. I guess she's talking about the quantum system doesn't need that, right?
No, and that's the whole thing. This is whether your banking systems are backing up to your voice frequency. That's why they're asking for that. And that's why you got to be careful when you're talking to these scam artists, because they're trying to record that so they can access that in the future. And it's impossible in that way too, because they're always trying to scam. But the whole thing is, and that's why when we go into the centers of the actual old banking systems, and then you're in a room with this new system by yourself, because the banking process is going to be pushed out the door, and it's going to be you and your system of the quantum, because when we get through this process, we're not going to trust banks at all after we find out how much they have screwed us over on everything. So it's going to be, can you imagine people having thousands of dollars and thinking, I'm not going to trust the bank? It's going to cause a problem with that in this process.
Okay, thank you. Will the state's departments of revenue flip when the federal one does? There are income taxes and are just as corrupt. I guess in regards to income taxes too, will the states with their departments of revenue flip when the federal does? Okay.
Yes, they have to, because they're not going to get any federal money in the first place and then they won't get the money that Trump's sending them unless they go by their guidelines of the new government now, of the sovereignty. And I'll tell you one I want to watch and witness is Minnesota, the most corrupt state on that process with taxes. They're ones that you're going to see, they're going to starve a little in the process of, going down. I mean, it's going to be bad. So yeah, I think Minnesota is going to be an example to watch, and New York.
Okay.
Those are the two that I think is going to be really bad on that. But I think, we have to bear witness and watch what's going on in what they're taking down and what they're doing in this process.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty, let's see. What do you think will happen with the schools? Do you think they will just be closed for a time, or?
No, because I've talked to some people, for the education process, they want the old programming to change. And this is the thing, I have a friend that works in the education process, and they're seeing a major change. There's major grandfather process happening where they're watching everything. They can't just do what they wanted to do before. Mm-hmm. They can't overly spin, and so the deep state is not able to do what they used to be able to do in this process and how they used to educate them. Because Trump's attitude is, if you don't do it my way, we don't need you. And with the new process that's coming in, with the new systems that are coming in, you actually don't need the teacher in the room. Because the new education process is going to adapt it to each individual at the level that they're at the programming that needs to be done for educating. Right. Not programming, educating. Yes. Because we have to go into a process of deprogramming. That's what people, as you're changing society and you're changing the way kids are and what they've been looking at, their eyes and reflect everything, and their brain consumes the information. And so do not be surprised if you see a lot of frequency stuff that is brought into the education system.
Okay.
I think for the change in that has to happen. We were talking about this younger generation, very young generation. It's scary, and so we have to start cutting that cord of how we're entertaining them and what we need to do for them on that process. But, again, those guidelines of the education process that they're going to implement, they're going to have to start bringing that out, talking about that. That's why it's this whole military operation and how we're going to see it on a podium. They need to start putting out the guidelines.
Right. I agree. Okay, thank you. Okay. I was saying Tuesday is the military day, apparently, when they're having their meeting. So.
Mm-hmm. Is that interesting? That's the day that that'll be the last day of the stuff that we're going through.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? I'll take it, whatever day, just as long as it's gone.
I'm telling you, across the board.
Do you have any information regarding a comet that's supposed to be showing up October 27th or 28th? Do you feel anything showing up or weird going on with that? I don't know.
Dates again. Dates. I wouldn't even know what they're talking about. I don't, because nothing that the military does is it's a date, it's a checklist.
Okay.
But like I said, I keep an eye on Axel because he's saying some things that are very important. And they're going into that blue bloodline of theirs and what's going on with that whole family, in that process. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to tell you again, keep an eye on Axel.
He posted today too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parables that he posts. That's what he does, though.
Yeah.
Any info coming up with Florida next week? We know that those are those storms or something. I don't know if they've.
So I don't think you have the map though that I did on Florida on that stuff, because remember, it had debris on the other side of Florida. You would get a lot of debris, and then at the Keys that the water would be ran over in that area, and there would be wind above.
I'm
Do you have
looking.
the drawing
Not
of that
sure.
one?
Let's see.
Because I was looking at part of the map they were showing the other day, and that reminded me of the Florida map I did.
Right. Let's see. I don't think I have that one. Is it on your Instagram? Oh, wait, I do have that one. Haha.
You do?
Yeah, I have it. There we go. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, let's see if I can share this one. That's the one?
Look at it. That looks like it's it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. So you have, they were talking about the plates down under Florida. We were talking about that would be an area of the plates. Antarctica would be an area of the plates, and then you would have all the debris on that, on the other side of the Florida.
Yeah, over here.
And then
Yep.
2 to 3 inches of wind that would go up in those areas, and then, so you would have some, storms coming up out of that area, and then the Florida Keys would be a lot of water running over that passageway, and then going up towards New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting how this plays out, these storms that are coming in. And then with those plates, I had, as I draw that stuff, and I had another archaeologist verify some of these plates that are under the Florida area. And she goes, I just want to verify, let you know that I verified some information that those are there, So it's going to be interesting. And the ones in Antarctica that surface. So when they pull them up out of the ocean.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so that's with Florida. Okay, let's go into what's funny too is we're getting ready to go in October, right? And the weather has been warm. It's cool.
Oddly. Yes, very warm.
Sweating. I haven't, it's just very warm, and even, for here where I live and all this stuff, I'm not seeing leaves go down the way they should be really going down, and they're just not. It's just odd weather that I'm seeing. What's going on? Okay, we'll do one more question, and then I'll go into another
reading. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Anything new on the Madrid fault line? The new Madrid fault line?
I just think you're going to have major reoccurrence. It's just not going to end. It's just going to until it opens up more. I mean, that's the thing that people are not ready for. So I think the splitting, we think it's to a top surface level, what I'm saying, that you're seeing it. And then we don't, we're seeing a lot of stuff that's happening, like in Africa, there's water occurring that's surfacing to the top. So, and that's the whole thing. They're not showing us what's going on underneath, at all. Water's appearing and what's actually shifting and how the plates are actually moving and what's actually moving them, what's actually activating them on this process. So I think that's an area that's going to be on shaky ground for a while until it settles. So it's not just one area that you're seeing earthquakes and then you're thinking it's over, because everything's a chain reaction and everything that's happening. And I think a big part of it is what's going on in the ocean right now. We're having major occurrence in there, and it's a chain reaction what's happening. And the biggest part that I'm worried about is California, when that just completely dismantles, and it just is going to tear everything apart in that way. It's going to have, with that earthquake hitting there, it's going to have a chain reaction with everything.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. Shall we go into another reading? You ready?
Yes, we should.
Okay. All right, folks. We're going to do another round of mini reading. So if you're interested, just type reading in the chat, and someone will be chosen. I'll give you the number. And again, Jenny's in the States, so wherever you are, just keep that in mind.
I think I'm going to go back here on. See how late is it? It's not even. I'm not even tired. Not even tired. Kim S.
Okay, Kim S. Call Jenny for your reading. Here's the number.
You know, what's funny is you got to be paying attention to these admirals that are stepping in. And if you know something about military honor and their pins that they wear, and paying attention to that, because it's very hard. I'm just going to tell you, it's very hard to fake that, because that's a prideful thing that they wear, and it's very meticulous on how it is pinned up and on the shoulders and everything. So someone in the military needs to really pay attention to the exact way things are. You know, even what they wear on their collar. There's like 2 to 3 fingers. Everything has to be organized. You want to pay attention to everything. How the hats are tipped, everything. I'm just telling you, it's a big deal.
Okay.
Miss Kim. Hello?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm lovely. How are you this evening?
Good. Have you ever had a reading by me?
No, I have not.
Okay. So just pick a subject you want to go into that kind of just hits your head, that I can just pick up what I feel is going on.
Well, spiritual awakening, all of that 3 years ago, doing all of the hard work. And I'm still stuck. I feel bound. Like some days literally bound.
Okay.
And I don't know what's going on. Of course, I fall in the trap of thinking I'm doing something wrong and trying to do nothing, just go with the flow.
Right. But see, this is how it changes, hon, is the fact that you need to adapt to what your soul resides in, and not what someone else's, what their soul is working off of. And that's the whole thing about doing it is, and that's why I talk about sitting in stillness and quietness. You learn a lot by that, but it also builds trust of what you're getting. And this is one of the first steps, is taking a notebook and a pen and putting on a blindfold. You shut down the 2 eyes and you vision in your mind. And that's the whole thing, is we're taught not to trust, the vision, but that's where the descriptions of information comes in. And you have to trust yourself first. You have to trust your own spirit. You're reaching out to others to alter that. But the thing is, it's the quietness that I learned when I was very young. I was in quiet modes of myself and hearing and listening. And I feel that all that's out there can really confuse the whole process of things. And so, what I notice how this is led in our path in this world is things are put in front of you for a reason. It's a lesson that we have to go through. And some of those lessons are very hard and some of them are easy. So for me, it's not trying to pull from one side to the other. It's just following your path and feeling that gut feeling what is right and what is not, but also putting pen to paper to trust yourself.
And see, I'm trying to do that. And I have had, things have been so quiet since March.
Right.
I mean, I felt the door slam on spirit, it seems like. And I'm trying to get into that flow, and I keep thinking I'm doing it, but I'm literally isolated and disconnected.
Right. And a lot of us are, and we don't know who to talk to or think that someone's not going to understand what we're saying, or even when there's verification out there, that's the whole thing. So, and if you email me, I can give you some sheets that can get you started in daily focus and process, and then putting yourself in this rawness of yourself, not trying to look at it and comparing it to someone else, and just walking your own path and having faith, because the inner wisdom is God, Yeshua, all of us. It's the wisdom's in there. We just got to listen. And that's the whole thing. I mean, so if you contact me, I will turn those sheets over to you, and you can have this format to follow, and it'll help you because it's by your conscience, your level, and your sight alone.
Okay. I'm working on it.
Yeah. So just email me and I'll send those to you.
Okay. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, but don't stress out. You're not doing things wrong. It's sometimes it can get confusing and disheartening. So it's just, you got to think to yourself it's like, I got to follow my own path in this and have my own faith, so I understand the frustration.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear it
definitely.
Across the board. So
I'm sure. It's just so quiet. I never feel the nudge anymore. It seems
it's a door that we open. And it is literally a door that we go through that we ourselves, the way we hear it. And we have to listen to the smallest things, and then all of a sudden that light comes on and it's like, oh, I get it. But each person has to take that path a different way. So just contact me and I'll help you, and I'll get those forms to you it's going to help you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You are welcome, hon. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye, hon.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
And that's the number one frustration. It's just people get so frustrated, and you can't blame them because of what's out there and the confusion and in that process, and that's why I just like throw people in their path and let them sit in it and say, just trust yourself on this. It's not that I need to do this for you, but you just need to trust yourself in the path that you're going in.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes you just gotta rip off that Band-Aid. Rip it off. Throw them in there, and they're like, whoa, reality. So that's the best thing that can happen.
Right.
So, so I think we can start with the bell, and then
alrighty,
get into process for the kids. So I really want you guys to pay attention to, like I said, how they're dressed up there, how everything is presented, what they're saying, And it's going to be military conversation, not civilian. So pay attention to the details.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to take a minute for the, you have your bell? We're good. All right, guys, we're going to take a minute for the bell for the children. If you can quiet the chat and ring them if you got them.
It'll be exciting one day we don't have to ring this bell to remind people that they need to think about the kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Be a good day.
Okay. Okay, you guys, pay attention this week. Don't get confused. If you have to get stuck on something, you can email me. So you guys stay in the light. Everything's good. Take care.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, guys.